All right, so here's another example out of chapter 4.2, page 274, number 43. In this case, we're asked to find the value of the sine function, okay, with an angle of negative 9 pi over 4. As with previous examples, while a negative angle isn't necessarily an issue, I'm probably going to want to look at the very least for a coterminal angle that will allow me to figure out how far this angle is from my x-axis so I can figure out what type of triangle I am forming. Now this 4 should immediately tip me off that I'm probably going to be dealing with a triangle that's going to have an angle of pi over 4, which would be a 45, 45, 90 triangle. But just to verify, I can quickly say, well, 9 pi over 4 plus 2 pi, or negative 9 pi over 4 plus 4 pi over 2, right, is equal to negative 5 pi over 4, okay? Oh, no, made a mistake. I was wondering why that wasn't working out quite right. Let's start over for a second here. If I multiply the top and bottom of this by 4 to make sure that I have a common denominator, then I would have negative pi over 4, or negative 9 pi over 4, plus, well, this would be 8 pi over 4. Again, that is why you shouldn't do steps in your head. Obviously, the lesson I was trying to give at that point. All right, so back on track here. Now we can clearly see that if we add these up, we're going to get negative pi over 4. Well, if we're going in the negative direction, that means that I know my radius will be right out here, and I will have an angle, a theta, of pi over 4. Well, fortunately, pi over 4 is kind of the easy one in that we know that both sides of pi over 4 are going to be square root 2 over 2 and square root 2 over 2. Now, since we're in this quadrant, there's a couple ways you can remember this, but all students take calculus. That tells you that in each quadrant, okay, in this quadrant here, all of the trig functions are positive. In this one here, sine is positive. In this one here, only tangent is positive. And this one here, only cosine is positive. So since we're finding sine, we know since we're in the fourth quadrant that we are going to be negative. Okay? And sine corresponds with the y side. Now the y side, in this case, is square root of 2 over 2. And we can clearly see that our y travels in the negative direction. Okay, if we started at 0, we would need to travel down to get to the point on our unit circle.